welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Leslie, and for today I will be sharing how I contour and highlight my face, and also some friendly tips for beginners if you're new to this. I know it can be a little overwhelming when we're learning a new makeup technique, but all it takes, you guys, is practice. If you're interested in learning how to contour your face, your chin, and your nose, you want a snatched thin nose, then keep on watching. I'm going to start sharing the process on how I highlight and contour my face. So especially now that I am 36 weeks pregnant, I have started to really get into contouring this chubby face. Pregnancy face, like my jawline's kind of gone already. So I wanted to just share with you some products that I personally like to use. We're going to be doing some cream and powder contour. I know the little duo that currently I've been loving for my under eye area, and it's the Born This Way Too Faced Concealer in the color Almond. I've really been into this ColourPop concealer, the No Filter concealer. It is also like a mattifying concealer, and I am in shade Light 10. So I'm going to use these three today, just combining them. And I like to start with my concealer first. The lightness is what's going to pop, and the dark, the contour, is what we want to hide. So I want to make my under eyes pop, appear brighter. So I'm going to start with that. Conceal under my eyes. And I always like to start with this Born This Way concealer. It matches my skin tone a little bit more, and it hydrates my under eye. Make sure that my concealer does not cake under my eye or crease or anything like that. And I like to cover up any darkness that I might have around my mouth. And I also like to bring it up here. Mixing in these two. The L'Oreal's probably a lot, but you know, might be a lot of coverage for some people. I really like the shade of this and the extra coverage it gives me, because the Born This Way is really nice creamy concealer, but I don't feel like it has enough coverage just alone on my skin. The ColourPop, I'll just be going here and just like very little. And I've only recently started mixing it is because I actually am running out a little bit of this one. What I like to do at this point is just let my concealer kind of sit on my skin for a little bit. It gives it better coverage since it starts to dry out a little bit. Now to contour, this is what I typically like to use, which is a concealer. My favorite is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in the shade 30, which is, yes, in the shade 30, which is Café. And I like this concealer because it's a light concealer. And it's super creamy, it's easy to blend, and it also has like a little deep red tone to it, which kind of gives you a bronze skin. It's not too gray tone, because a lot of contour, sometimes they kind of run on the cool tone side, and sometimes I feel like they can kind of get a little purpley looking, a little too gray looking on the skin. The other one I really like is this Pro Conceal one in the shade Chestnut. I really like this one as well, but sometimes I feel like this one is a little bit more drying. So I wouldn't recommend this if you're just beginning on learning how to contour, because this one's kind of more on the matte side and it dries super fast. Now to contour, what I like to do is I kind of feel on my cheek where that natural hollow is. Or you can do the kissy face. And you can see where the natural hollows of your cheeks are, and that's where we're gonna run the contour at. And I typically like to stop it like right at the corner of my eye. If you bring it in too far, it can get a little muddy, or it can just become a little too much. So kind of like in the corner of my eye is where I'll stop. Like that. And then I like to also contour my forehead. Now that I am pregnant, like it's just a face and neck situation going on here. So what I like to do, I follow my natural jawline. Like this. First, like to use brushes that are a little bit more tapered, a little bit more controlled, not so big and fluffy. I want something big and fluffy like this, because things can get out of control and just get a little too dramatic, so I like something a little bit more smaller, more tapered. This is a small tapered contouring brush, or I really like the Real Techniques brush as well. It's small and it keeps things controlled while we're blending. And then I just start blending it in, and all I have on right now is my foundation, you guys, under my that I haven't set yet. If you set the foundation and then try to contour and highlight, you're gonna have issues with it getting cakey or it not blending right, and we don't want that. So we're just gonna start blending it into our hairline basically. And as you can see, automatically this side has definition. It's hidden compared to this side. And now I'm just gonna go down here. Blended all the contour out. Now I'm going to blend out the concealer, and I like to use a brush to blend out my concealer. And I won't bring it up too far on my forehead. I'll kind of just keep it here, because what we're trying to do with the forehead is make it appear a little bit smaller. I make sure to bring up the highlight close here, because it kind of gives you that facelift effect if you kind of bring the highlight up here. With the contour color, whatever is left on the brush, and I kind of just blend around the forehead a little bit like that, and I'll reblend out here. From this moment, we're gonna set everything in place so it doesn't move anywhere. My under eyes with the Airspun powder. And I'll set my laugh lines, my chin. Go ahead and bronze my skin. I'm gonna bronze it with the MAC Give Me Sun bronzer. It's one of my favorite bronzers, but I also really love the Benefit Hoola bronzer. And for that one, I love more because that one's, it's not too cool and it's not warm. This is a warm bronzer. As you can see, it kind of has like that red tone. The Hoola bronzer has kind of a little bit more of a cool tone, kind of like a gray undertone, but it's also brown. So it's gonna not only bronze your skin, but it's also gonna give you that contour look. If you're barely building like your little kit or your little makeup stash, I highly recommend getting the Benefit Cosmetics Hoola bronzer to set all your contoured areas. And I'm going to use just a nice small brush like this. I love this bronzer too, don't get me wrong, it's so pretty. So now that I bronzed my skin a little bit, I'm going to go in with the contour to just chisel out my cheeks and my chin a little bit more. This is my Anastasia contour kit in, I think, the shade medium. I really like this one. As you can see, it is a really well loved because it has all of the colors with the undertones that you're going to need to contour your skin, and I really love mixing them. And also it has a banana shade to just brighten up your under eye if you need to brighten it up a little bit more. But if you are, like I said, just building up your makeup stash and you're not 100% pro at contouring yet, I highly recommend the NYX. This is the highlight and contour kit. Most important shades are these contour shades that we have here, and this NYX palette is super inexpensive. I want to say it's like less than $20. Like the warm tones, and then it has the cool tones down here. And like I said, these are the type of shades that would be perfect to like chisel out your cheekbones, to chisel out your nose. To contour, I like to use a brush like this. This is an angled brush. As you can see, it kind of has an angle, so it's easy to get into your cheek. Go ahead and mix the cool tone with a little bit of the darker one. Tap off some of the excess product, and then just bring it in. And then I like to bring it into my temples a little bit as well. Whatever's left, I kind of do it here under my chin. behind my ear. So as we can see, this also has a little bit more definition than this side. How I like to clean up my contour is I go in with the Airspun and a wet beauty blender, some powder, and then I kind of go under here. Like this. This is gonna clean up our contour, just sharpen it up a little bit more and just make it look a lot better. So I'm just gonna let it sit while we start contouring our nose. Contour my nose, I like a very small angled brush like this. That is a little bit on the thinner side, as you can see. Here's another option. It's kind of just a little bit more flat, but also it's on the thinner side. Contour, I'm gonna mix these two darker shades here. I'm just gonna start going on the sides of my nose. And then I like to, so it's a little bit more natural, I like to bring it into my eyebrow like this. On the other side. Come up and then connect it to my brow. And then I kind of just make sure to contour all the way on the side. So as you can see, my nose is contoured all the way down. I'm also gonna contour under my nose here to just stop the nose. Going with my face powder and a big fluffy brush, and I'm just gonna start blending this in. With whatever product is left over, I also just like to go back and fix it, so because I like a really snatched nose. Contour can look super noticeable and appear thinner. We're gonna have to highlight, and I'm gonna go in with the Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlight because it's one of my favorite. For my nose, I like a very skin tone highlight, not too gold, not too white or anything like that. I like it a little bit more subtle, so I'm gonna go in with this one since it kind of has like a peachy glow. We don't want to put it where your actual tip of your nose is because we cut that part once we contoured it and we made it a little bit thinner. So you want a super small little eye pencil brush. This is just a pencil brush. So a little bit higher of where my nose naturally droops or naturally cuts down. And just go above it right there. And then I'm also gonna do it on the bridge of my nose. And as we can see, our nose looks completely different and my nose is still like to over here. But we added the little highlight here and it kind of lifts your nose. We have a thinner nose as well. Go ahead and dust off my powder. So for my blush today, I'm gonna be using Pink Swoon mixed in with Melba. So I'm just gonna mix these two colors because now that our contour and highlight is on, we don't wanna bring the blush too low. Our blush is gonna stay on top of the contour. So I'm gonna bring it up like right here. We're glowing now. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup, you guys, and I'll be right back. This is like the Disney Channel. Welcome to my Disney Channel. But I'll be back, guys. I just finished my makeup. I use the Benefit Roller Eyeliner to create this wing. It is my favorite eyeliner. It's waterproof, it stays on, it's not going anywhere. And for my lips, I have a mixture of Kylie Cosmetics, Candy K, and Cocoa K. If you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask down low in the comments below. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.